Why are you mining? How do you mine? Can I mine with you? And after getting like 100 DMs of like, yo, can you show me how to mine? I was like, I already have the whole infrastructure. I just figured this out for myself. I can buy the machines in bulk now, make a spread on that, and then I'll provide them with this low cost energy, which I got from my friend and his network. So I just opened up a mining business and we started selling miners, and now we're a multi-million-dollar company and we have 81 clients right now.
All right, so Colin, introduce yourself as if you're meeting someone for the first time. Like, what do you do? Who are you? Get a little bit into that.
Yeah, my name is Colin Ferguson. I live in Miami. I'm 28 years old. I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years now, and I've sold probably 4 or 5 different offers and services throughout the past 5 years. And I love personal branding. I mean, personal branding is everything to me. I've built all my businesses organically through Instagram. So it's a little different than you,
Yeah,
because you're all ads. So yeah, pretty much just organic marketing and building businesses around problems that I've solved for myself in my own life.
yeah. It seems like that's a theme in Miami recently because I've always built my businesses with paid ads, and I don't think it's that I didn't want to do it organically. It just I feel like it's harder.
Yeah.
So that I actually think it's interesting that everyone I'm meeting, I feel like you're building businesses in a harder way. I mean, it's definitely better in terms of profit, but I think it's much harder. Let's get into one of the businesses I saw you had. You have a Bitcoin mining, right?
Yeah.
So first explain that to the average viewer who's not going to have any idea what that is, and then how you make money from doing that.
Yeah, sure. So first you have to know kind of what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is basically an unfuckable money. Like, you can't mess with it. And it's outside of the financial system. So it's the first money of its kind that's not tied in with the fiat rails, right? So it's outside of the US dollar system, outside of the euro, and it's its own programmable money. Anyone in the world can participate. And the coolest part is it's scarce. There's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist. So in order to get those Bitcoin into the network, you have to mine them. So everyone around the world can buy a supercomputer. They're miners, like ASIC miners.
Mm-hmm.
Very expensive because they run one specific software, and it's called the SHA-256 hash function. So you know how Apple has iOS and Mac OS? It's basically like that. You just buy this massive hunky thing. It has a bunch of fans in it because the machine runs so hard, and you plug it into the wall and you run this program, and it will basically pick out a problem. Like, it's this massive problem that it's trying to solve, and it's like finding a needle in the haystack. And if you pick the needle in the haystack, you win the Bitcoin block reward, which rewards you Bitcoin. And whenever you get rewarded Bitcoin, it's taking some of the total supply of the 21 million and distributing it to you. And so this is the way Bitcoin's distributed out into the world, into circulation. And by 2140, there will be no more Bitcoin left to distribute. It'll be 100% mined. So we have, the next 100 years plus to mine Bitcoin. And there's a few reasons why I started mining Bitcoin instead of just buying it. The first reason is because you don't have to mess with exchanges. I'm sure you know FTX, BlockFi, Celsius, all these ones that blew up, right? Wall Street promotes it. They seem so safe. You buy funds with it. You take out loans with these platforms. And then one day, all your money's gone, right? And you would think they're safe platforms and I could trust these things, but you can't. And that's why I love Bitcoin mining, because it's completely off of all centralized systems. You buy your miner, you run the software, and you plug in your own hardware wallet that's completely decentralized, customized for you, and you just get paid out to your own ledger, completely off the grid. So it's very cool where, instead of buying stuff on Coinbase, holding funds on there, you're not taking that counterparty risk with anyone else. So I like it for that reason. Number 2 is for the tax benefits. Bitcoin miners are machines. You can depreciate machinery, right? So a lot of people buy cars over 6,000 pounds. You can buy equipment. Bitcoin miners are equipment. I can depreciate 100% of that machine over 2 years. Back in 2022, when I started the business, it was 100% in year 1. Wow. So I literally, long story short, I paid $500,000 to the IRS in 2021. And I called up my accountant. I was like, dude, how can I prevent this? He's like, the reason you paid this much is because you had no write-offs and all you did with your money is buy Bitcoin. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that probably was not smart. So I'm like, well, dude, I want to still buy Bitcoin because I'm obsessed and I believe in it. And, I want to store my money there. And he's like, okay, let's think of an alternative way you can acquire the Bitcoin And then he talked about Bitcoin mining, and I started researching it. I was like, holy crap, this qualifies for Section 179. And Section 179 states that you can write off 100% of the machinery. So instead of buying Bitcoin on Coinbase and BlockFi,
So you're basically getting it for free, essentially.
yeah, it's like whatever money you put in is now, you're getting a write-off up front, and then you're getting all that Bitcoin mined over the next 4 years on the back end delivered to you. So it's like a double profit, basically.
Wow.
So I dedicated, all my buying power to Bitcoin miners in 2022. And because of personal branding, I just started showcasing it. I was like so excited. I'm documenting my journey, buying my first miner, setting up all my rigs with my friend in his warehouse in New Jersey at his dad's flashlight company. They have a really good
You're going heavy duty.
Yeah, going heavy. I started buying like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of miners, started storing it. We're doing immersion cooling where you're basically taking apart the machinery and you're dumping it under dielectric fluid, which like lets the equipment run under a liquid solution so that the fans don't overheat and you can make them last longer. You can get more power out of the machines and mine more Bitcoin. So like I went super deep and just showing my passion on Instagram, let other people know like what I was doing. And then they were interested. They were like, dude, like I have tax problems. Why are you mining? How do you mine? Can I mine with you? And after getting like 100 DMs of like, yo, can you show me how to mine? I was like, I already have the whole infrastructure. I just figured this out for myself. I can buy the machines in bulk now, make a spread on that, and then I'll provide them with this low cost energy, which I got from my friend and his network. So I just opened up a mining business and we started selling miners, and now we're a multi-million-dollar company and we have 81 clients right now. And so that's one of my businesses.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. So I think most people are not that familiar with it. I mean, including myself. I think this would be great for the listeners. Okay, so walk through how much it costs to get a machine to mine. And then the part I got a little confused on, maybe you can clarify, is why can you speed up how fast you mine Bitcoin, or is it just you have to buy more machines, or like walk that through that process?
For sure. So you can go right now and buy like an S21, Bitmain S21. That's like the newest miner. You could buy one of them for probably like 5, 6K. Okay. The problem is if you bought a 5, 6K machine and you plugged it into your wall at home here, you would go broke because it uses so much energy and your energy cost at home is probably like 20 cents a kilowatt. We got our energy for 6 cents a kilowatt. Oh, wow. So, just by you plugging in, it's like a death sentence. Plus, you'd be solo mining. So the reason why you want to buy more miners is because you're contributing more terahash to the pool. Okay. You want to join a mining pool. There's many pools out there that you can join. It's a very small fee. But what a pool does is you can join a bunch of other miners running the software, contributing to the network. And when one reward is hit, you all split the reward amongst yourselves and you get rewarded in the proportion of how much energy you've exerted with how many terahash you put on the network. So like we have a big pool that we're in, and soon enough, our goal is to just be self-mining with our own rigs in-house. Right now we use something called F2 pool, which is basically like a worldwide pool. Anyone can join. You pay them like a 0.1% fee to join. But yeah, basically the more terahash that you contribute, which means more miners, the more you're rewarded every time a block reward is hit in that pool.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. So what, in terms of the speed to mine like one Bitcoin, for example, is it just if you have 500 machines, it's faster, or it's faster than 200 and
you 100? Have a greater chance. Like, for example, if you're going to self-mining means like you're not on a pool. Right. So you could plug in 500 miners and mining all together at the same time. You have a pretty decent chance now. But if you plugged in one miner, it's the same chance as hitting the lottery. But if you do hit it, and sometimes it happens, like on Twitter, I follow this account that broadcasts whenever solo miners hit block rewards. Yeah. Right now, the block reward is like 3.125 Bitcoin, which is like, I don't know, $180,000. And so like this guy is probably paying, I don't know, maybe $1,000 a month to mine or something by himself if he's mining in a home. And sometimes they get lucky and they hit the block reward. But it's very hard.
So the only person who actually gets the Bitcoin is like it's right when it hits the benchmark. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So like if that guy is solo mining and he hit it, it's directed right into his pool that he created for himself. But if you're mining on a pool with like 1,000 other miners, every day that there's multiple rewards hit, everyone's sharing it, proportion to how much terahash you're giving into the pool.
Do you know at what point you're going to hit it? Like, is it obvious?
No, there's projected payouts. Like in our pool, we have like projected payouts that shows, you know, how much Bitcoin you should have mined, because every day we have kind of like an average range of how many blocks are hit in the pool and then how much you're getting distributed. But the thing with mining is there's 4 moving variables. There's the price, there's a difficulty adjustment, there's a hash rate, and there's a new issuance of Bitcoin. So those are 4 things that are moving every day. They're never the same. It's never fixed. So, you know, you have the new issuance of Bitcoin, which, as I said, right now is 3.125 Bitcoin whenever there's a block hit. But every 4 years, there's a Bitcoin halving event. So the halving event basically is that natural scarcity built in to Bitcoin. So every 4 years, the new supply gets cut in half. So Bitcoin's deflationary, whereas US dollars and all fiat currencies are inflationary. It's the exact opposite. So you have that to take into account. You have the hash rate. Global hash rate is how many miners are contributing on the network globally. And then you have the price of Bitcoin, which goes up and down every single day. And then you have the difficulty adjustment. Difficulty adjustment adjusts based off hash rate. An example of this is like when China banned Bitcoin mining. I don't know if you heard about this in like 2021. So I think it was in March or April of 2021. We had recently just hit 64K on the first peak of the bull market. And then we literally dropped to 29,000 in like less than a month. And so what happened was China banned Bitcoin mining. China made up for the most miners out of all of the miners participating on the network in the world. And so overnight, hash rate dropped by 50%, which means there was 50% less miners mining Bitcoin. Now, there's something that they built into the protocol called the difficulty adjustment. And the difficulty adjustment adjusts every 2 weeks. So basically, 50% of the miners dropped off. The difficulty adjustment stays the same for the next 2 weeks. So anyone mining Bitcoin on the network at that time was mining like 3 times the rewards. And then when the difficulty adjustment adjusts based on the new hash rate globally, then it makes it a lot easier to mine Bitcoin. So more people get on the network and it keeps adjusting. So it keeps an even playing field. But if you're mining Bitcoin during a massive drop off like that, you're going to be set. You get rewarded, for taking that risk and being on the network. So that's why it's very smart to diversify into buying spot Bitcoin, holding it for the long term, and to also mine Bitcoin for tax write-offs and the reasons I just said.
Okay, so how much Bitcoin, like let's just say, I know it depends on how many machines you have, but like how much Bitcoin can someone actually mine? Let's say, give me an example from someone who has a ton of machines to like one machine, and then over a year, like how much can they actually get?
I'll tell you right now. I'll do a little Bitcoin mining
equation.
calculator.
Okay,
yeah. So right now I'm mining about $400 per day. But I'll tell you like an actual live example.
So with all the machines you have, about 400 USD a day.
Correct. And that changes based off the price of Bitcoin. So like if Bitcoin goes up by 100%, which I think it will over the next 6 to 12 months, then Bitcoin's priced at 120K. Now I'm mining.
Right. So is like part of the reason you're intrigued by it is you're just hoping that it's going to go up and up and up over time. So eventually it's like you're making more and more and more.
100%.
Okay.
Like you're going to probably, at this point where we're at in the cycle, because we just had the Bitcoin halving event, you would make more Bitcoin if you just bought Bitcoin from Coinbase right now and you just spot buy. If you put 100K into the exchange and bought Bitcoin, you'd be making more than 100K put into miners at this very point right now because of the type of the season we're in Bitcoin mining. But if we have some difficulty adjustments, if the hash rate goes up, you have that potential of mining a lot more. And plus, I don't care because I'm getting the tax write-off. I can't go and buy Bitcoin on an exchange because that ordinary income I'm using to buy, you get taxed on a lot, 37%. So I'd rather wipe that out and just hold Bitcoin for the long run. And I don't care the difference of being, short 0.2 Bitcoin because over 10, 20 years, it's a rounding error. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not selling any of this Bitcoin I'm mining. Here's an example. I have my terahash calculator pulled up right here. So what kind of package are we talking? Like, do you want to let's get? Do
you like a normal person? So it's like maybe they're just like trying to make a little extra cash. They have one machine.
All of our clients are pretty high net worth. So like our minimum package is $67,000. And that gives you 3 machines for 4 years. So you want me to show you that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's 702 terahash. If we're talking all 3 machines. Today, you'd be earning $31 per day. with 702 terahash. That's
interesting.
USD.
Why
The
are
most
you,
important thing you want to look at, which doesn't make sense to the viewer because they won't be able to understand that monetary value, is you're earning 0.0005 Bitcoin per day at that rate right now. Yeah.
And so your package you just spoke about, you said is $67K. They get 3 machines. Like what else are they getting in the package? Is it just the machines, or like you guys give them a strategy, or like?
No, so you get everything all included in a 4-year package. So like most mining companies, they're going to charge you for the machines up front, and then you're going to pay monthly variable energy costs, maintenance, setup, all that other stuff. So we just built it all in to one upfront fee because we buy our energy out in contracts of multiple years.
Oh, and it's done for them, right? So you guys are also, so they're paying you and then they're getting the benefit, but you guys are doing all the heavy lifting.
Correct. And it's a business and it's an active business. So basically they're getting to write off these massive, like basically if all they have is the miners that they can depreciate 60% in year 1 because of 2022 rule. They changed it. I think it's going back to 100% next year. That's what Trump says. But the other write-offs are 100%. Like, for example, all the other costs are energy costs we're paying up front in year 1. So their maintenance costs, the setup fees, all those other fees, they can write off as a business expense. Wow, so it's an amazing write-off. It's huge.
That is so interesting because I haven't delved that deep into it. One other question that I thought of, good for me, good for the viewer. Is there a certain site you have to go to? So you get this machinery. Let's say I know nothing about mining. Okay, you get this machinery, you plug it into your wall. What's the next step? Do you have to be on a certain website, or like how do you plug into it?
Yeah, so we have like a very easy onboarding process. So we have Derek who would set you up on an onboarding call, and he'll just set you up with your pool account. So you'll have a username and a login, and basically you can see your whole back end. You can change your wallets. You can see when your payout is. You can see all the Bitcoin blocks being rewarded. You can see your miner uptime, if there's any downtime. It's the most transparent investment there is. Like, it's way better than real estate because you can see what's going on 24/7. If there's a problem in real estate and people are smoking weed in your house, you won't know until the next tenants come in there, right? So with Bitcoin mining, if our machines go down, you're alerted on your phone with a notification, and then you know what's happening. So for me, it's one of the best, most transparent investments.
Man, bro, that was so crazy how you got into that.
Yeah.
So that's one business, right?
Yeah, that's one.
And you got, how many businesses do you have total?
4.
Okay, so walk us through business number 2. What's that business?
Okay, business number 2, we'll go talk about Division 1 Health. That's our supplement line we just dropped. So it's a multivitamin. It's a beef organ. And I am super passionate about health, biohacking, as you are too. You got a sauna in your bathroom. I have one at my house as well. But yeah, so I just got really heavy into like getting my blood tested, making sure I have high testosterone, like really treating my body like a business. Like I was so focused on money. Then I got a blood test in 2021. My test levels were at a 300. I was pale. Wow. I had constant anxiety before bed, like all these things. And I met Gary Brecka, luckily back then before he blew up, and we became good friends. And, he taught me a lot, and he got me super dialed in. I got on an animal-based diet because my blood type, that was like the perfect diet for me. Got more shredded than ever. Test levels went to 1,000 plus, way more tan constantly. Like I don't even have to go outside that much. And like my skin color is just always like tan now.
Interesting.
And that's because of my diet, the vitamin D intake I have. And so I also, to lead me to why I started this company, I started taking raw beef organs. So I started eating liver.
It's like some Liver King shit.
Yeah, like 3 times a week, I'd buy this liver from an organic farm, and they would ship it to my house, and I'd freeze it, and then I'd have to like take it out, thaw it out. I'd have to cut it up. I'd dip it in all these dressings like maple syrup and stuff, and I'd eat it. And my girl would always go crazy, like, why do you do this? And like, I swore by it because I could feel my energy levels. I could feel my performance levels in the gym go up, my libido, like everything. I just felt like on fire. And I really credit it all to that diet and also eating beef organs because of the amount of nutrients inside. It's literally like a super vitamin. It has everything you need. So I started taking Heart and Soil supplements, Liver King.
Yeah.
He came out with Heart and Soil with Paul Saladino. And I started taking them for the past like 1-2 years. And I just loved the product. It was the only product I always took no matter what. Like if I'm traveling to Europe, I'm bringing a bottle. Like I always took my beef organs. And I was like, man, like why don't I just make my own? Like
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about this. They all get their beef organs from New Zealand. I started researching like, why do they all do New Zealand? Why don't they do Argentina? There was some clear benefits of doing New Zealand, and they say the cows are healthier there. But when I looked at it and I did a lot of research, the best pastures in the world are Argentine cows and pastures. So I did a lot of research. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own company. I've always wanted to do something in health and biohacking. I was already making biohacking TikToks and all this content, going super viral, doing like day in the life of a biohacker, check out my biohacking setup, animal-based diet, like all that stuff. And I've always just made content on what I'm passionate about. And it was very well received. Everyone's like, bro, you should drop a supplement. And so I think, about 10 months ago, in December of 2023, I reached out to my buddy who has it's called Ori Gummies, and they sell a supplement. It's a gummy for mushrooms, mushroom gummy supplement, like reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, and they're doing like 2-3 mil a month.
Wow.
And I was like, bro, like, can you hook me up with your suppliers, your 3PL, your manufacturer? And within a month, I invested like $100,000 in my supplement company. And we ordered 5,000 units, did the packaging, 3PL, website, ads, and now it's a full-blown company.
Is it live right now?
Yeah, it's live. It's on Amazon too.
Dude, I'm gonna have to check it out. What's the brand?
It's called Division One Health.
Division One Health. I'm gonna have to check it. You swear by the beef organs.
Oh, I love them, bro.
I'll have to try
I honestly, like, if you don't take any multivitamins, it's really the only multivitamin you need.
Really?
Yeah.
So the supplement you guys have, I'm assuming it's just like a capsule. You
It's
don't taste
4
anything.
caps. Yeah, and you take it once a day for 30 days.
Do you feel like you get the same effect as like eating it raw?
100%. Yeah, it's the same exact thing. And the cool thing about these, it's not like, when you take vitamins on an empty stomach and you get like kind of sick, it feels like bad. This is just food. Like, they're real organs, and we desiccate them, chop it up into a fine powder, and put it in a pill.
So is the eating the actual liver days over for you? Is the girlfriend happy?
I'll still do it once in a while, but it's definitely not as prevalent. Yeah, but I like this because it's so easy. Within a minute, I'm taking all the vitamins I need every day.
What else do you sell besides that? Is that the main?
That's it
things
for
that-
now.
Yeah.
We're coming out with hydration salt as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm partners with Wade in this.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
And he has that. I believe he worked with 10x, so he kind of has a background with
Correct.
that as well.
That's why. I partner with him.
Super smart.
Because he helped
man.
build, and we found each other like he was 10x president at the time when I was working with Gary Breck. I didn't even know that. Then we met at the gym.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to your biohacking a little bit. I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna buy some after and try
I
it.
appreciate that, bro.
So, what are some of the things you do that maybe you think, okay, if you're biohacking, you definitely have to do this, and then maybe some of the stuff it's like maybe on the edge, maybe not as conclusive that it's beneficial.
Sure. I would say sunlight is like the most important thing. Just being somewhere that's sunny and going outside and walking either barefoot or just stretching in the grass with your toes in the grass. Like, I truly feel 20 times better mental clarity, less anxiety if I'm just going out and I'm getting at least 30 minutes to an hour a day of sunlight. Like, that's the most simple thing you could do. And like, literally no one does it. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes I'm getting up at the crack of dawn, and so by the time the sun comes up, I'm already home in the shower. I need to do a better job. Yeah. You said something about you got Tanner. Is that literally just from vitamin D, or
it's from your diet? Like, if you're eating, I think healthy saturated fats like avocado, eating ribeyes that have healthy animal fat, and then plus getting a sufficient amount of vitamin D, your skin cells are way more healthy to retain sun and vitamin D. Whereas if you're eating seed oils and all white breads and processed sugars, like, it's not good for your skin and your cells and your membrane, and your mitochondria is being broken down instead of being built up. So for me, like, and same with my dad. I got my dad on an animal-based diet. He lost 20 pounds, and his skin pigment looks so healthy and so tan. It's like he's never tan, and he's just always tan now. And he lives in New Jersey. Well, so it's got to be what you're eating, plus a little bit of sun and a sufficient amount of vitamin D, whether you take it orally or you just go out and get natural vitamin D. I really think that it made all the difference, just cutting out seed oils, processed sugar. I no longer get burnt now. I just get tan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat bad at all, or is it very rare?
Yeah, like, I still will have some cheat meals on the weekends.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much every weekend.
Okay.
I'll eat like whatever I want.
Yeah, because I used to, back in the day when I was doing a lot of professional modeling, I tanned all the time. Looked fucking great.
Yep.
But I was like, okay, I'm gonna start getting skin cancer, so I had to stop. So you saying that I might be up in the animal fats here soon.
I think you just need to build up your mitochondria will get broken down with the linoleic acids in seed oils. So you don't want those polyunsaturated fats. You want saturated fats. The big difference. Polyunsaturated fats will literally break apart your mitochondria and it'll wreak havoc inside. And then you're exposed when the sun comes out and you're in the sun all the time eating those seed oils. It literally binds with the sunlight, and that's how you see these people that are just fucking bright red, like super burnt. Right. And look at their diets. They're sitting on the beach. They're eating chips, Lay's chips with tons of seed oils, linoleic acids. It's really bad.
Interesting. Yeah. So are you more pro like saturated fats? Because typically I would say, I don't know. I guess like I don't even know where the fitness community is at this point, but they say like stay away from saturated fats. Like you're more into it.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, you want healthy saturated fats. On an animal-based diet, you're pretty much eating fats all the time, So I think it's very important if you're going to do the animal-based diet, you really stick to it and you don't eat, processed sugars and all that crap, seed oil foods, because then it's not going to work. Like you need to actually get your body reliant on fats and not carbs, because mostly you're just eating fats and protein, not carbs.
Any vegetables in there, or fruits, or is it strictly
I eat fruit. Yeah. So animal based is organic fruit and red meat and raw dairy. Avocados is considered a fruit. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I eat. 5 days a week I do that.
Yeah, I think that I know Brandon Carter, he does a lot of that. He does keto. Yeah. Yep. So I don't even think he gets the fruit in probably. He's probably just
Yep.
Okay, so even more severe. Okay, so that's business number 2.
Yeah.
Super interesting. What's your third business?
So third business is personal brand coaching.
Okay.
So as you know, I do everything organically, and I've been on Instagram since 2019. Just haven't changed any of my methods. Like I just kind of figured out a way to storytell, talk about my problem, talk about how my program or my business is the solution to that problem. And then I just get people to join and I walk them through what I've already done for myself.
Yeah. Have you ever, so 100% organic, like you ever done shout outs, ads? Like if someone works with you, like, is it just strictly like post good content to get the growth? That's it.
Yeah. It's post good reels that go viral, get people into, my ecosystem. And then I just feed them value every single day through stories until I kill them with consistency and they capitulate and buy.
So in terms of your feed versus stories, do you change up the content a lot? Like is there certain content only for stories? Is there certain content only for a feed or is it similar?
Oh yeah, completely different. Like Instagram reels are really, my goal is to go viral and get people on my page. So I make stuff that's kind of controversial, kind of crazy. Like one of my bigger videos I just did was my monthly expenses as a 28-year-old living in Miami.
I saw
Everyone saw that, right?
My reaction, honestly, I was telling my girl, I said, I don't know how the fuck he's spending $36,000 a month. That's actually what I said.
Yeah. So I did that. I also have done my morning routine went 40 million views on Twitter.
Wow.
And I posted on Instagram. My account just got restricted. I don't know if you've been hearing about this.
I've had that before.
I just got restricted for 60 days. So I haven't been posting reels. But I'm just posting organic stories, and I'm still doing 100K months, no problem.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
What was the? What did you get restricted for? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, so it's income claims. So basically, I've never had a problem in all my time posting on Instagram for 5 years. But apparently, I have a Facebook rep that looked in my back end. They're like, dude, you had 5 flags, and you just got your 3rd strike. That's why you got the 60-day ban. So basically, I was just saying, hey, this is for my 4th company. This is how I got banned. I was like, hey, if you have $50,000 or more and you want to multiply your net worth or your crypto net worth by 3 to 5x in the next 90 days, something like that, DM me crypto.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, you're making a false promise that you can't verify, whatever. Yeah. So
fun stuff.
I get it. Yeah. It's super easy to prevent that now that I know what I did wrong. So by November 4th, I'm back on. And the cool thing is once you go through that, they bring your account back to full health with no strikes or no flags. Yeah. So I'll be fully reset.
It's super. Yeah. The thing that always gets frustrating with the social media accounts is, half the time if something does happen, you can't get any information unless you try to find someone on the inside.
It's crazy. And you got to pay so much money.
And then they got to pay them to turn your account on or remove a strike. I mean, that stuff always drives me crazy.
It's crazy.
Okay. So you have supplements, crypto, personal branding. What's the 4th one?
Yeah. The 4th one is my crypto mastermind, bull market blueprint. So, my partner Luke is basically the one who fulfills that product, and I'm just doing marketing and sales.
It's not Belmer, is it?
No, not Belmar. His name is Luke Davis.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, we started that a year ago, and our goal with that was to just educate people on crypto, provide them with weekly resources, toolkits, charting tools, an algorithm that helps you when to buy and sell Bitcoin, and then basically giving everyone a portfolio to copy. And we just broadcast our portfolio and what we're doing. And my partner Luke is super successful. He turned 20K into like 1.6 million last cycle, all documented. And so he's just going to do it again, bigger this time. And he just brings everyone in. Everyone just joins the live calls twice a week. We update people on what to do. And then when it's time to sell, he just broadcasts everything he's doing.
Wow. So it sounds to me like you started in crypto and then the personal branding kind of came in after that, or was it the other way around?
So it actually all started with personal branding. And I used to teach a credit travel course called Credit Class in 2019. Okay. So I wrecked my credit in early 2019. I had under a 600 score. I locked myself in a room. I learned the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I learned all about consumer protection laws, and I fixed my credit. I got my credit up to like a 730. Once again, documented the whole thing. After reading Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It, he's like, document your journey. Your journey will become your brand. So I just started doing that every day. And people watched my process of me fixing it, really knowing my shit, started to travel for free. I moved out of my apartment and then moved to Bali, and I started broadcasting all of this travel stuff. And my first business was called Credit Class. And yeah, that basically then evolved to me getting lots of 0% credit for people, which way more money's in that because you can get people capital, and then, you know, you can direct them where to invest that capital. So then I lined up commission deals with other programs, and through that made a couple $1 million, and then dumped all of that into Bitcoin in 2020.
So how did you get your start? So for someone who's listening, it's like you got 4 businesses, you're doing a lot of stuff, you're super successful, you're in shape. Like, how did you get your start? Was it a mentor? Was it a book? How can someone listening start kind of moving in a good direction?
Yeah, so I mean, my life was drastically different 5 years ago. I was working at a corporate job, ADP, you guys might know it, like a payroll company. Yeah. And I was just doing sales, making $39K a year after college. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, what is my life? And, you know, I had really never gave a thought to like what I wanted to do in life, what impact I wanted to have, what I wanted my life to look like. And that all kind of just hit me in one day. And I just kind of had a panic attack. And I was like, holy shit, like I'm not in alignment of where I want to be right now. Like no one inspires me. I'm constantly doing drugs and drinking pretty much every single week. You know, I feel very lost and very scared and very depressed. So that made me turn to personal development and just starting to audit my environment, you know, really being careful with who I listen to, who I hang out with, the people I'm watching on Instagram. And I just started to cultivate my environment to be positive, you know, following people like Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, Gary Vaynerchuk, and each of those guys served a very important time in my life to getting me, you know, Gary Vee telling me to quit my job every day in his podcast. And one day I just did it. Then I started, you know, documenting everything online because he told me to do that in the book, Crush It. So I basically just had online mentors that I never met in my life that changed my life and had me take action. I didn't even have to buy a course. Like,
yeah, that's I would say that's uncommon, which is great. I mean, that's a great skill if you can learn to take information that way. I think I can do that more now, but in the beginning, I think, at least for me, man, I was just so little confidence in my ability.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, am I doing it right? You know, I didn't have that feedback loop, so that's
Sure.
pretty impressive.
Well, I did, like, once I started to get that confidence and I started to, like, really be involved in that, you know, that kind of information, I was like, okay, I need to get around these people in real life now. That's when I started going to masterminds. So, like, I had a couple credit cards early on because my dad always told me the importance of credit. So I had like 3 credit cards that had decent limits on them. And I was just spending money I didn't have on masterminds, like all the time. I went to Casey, you know, Casey Adams.
Yeah.
He had one in Scottsdale in like 2019. And I went to that. Maybe it was 2018, like December. Went to that and that just blew me away. I pulled up. There's all these kids that are 20 years old with Lambos, Ferraris. I was just like, how is this even possible? Because no one I hung out with talked about business. All we did was talk about partying and girls, like nothing else. And so for me, it was just whole mindset shift. And all I wanted to do was be surrounded by that stuff. So then I flew out to I even drove out to San Diego by myself to attend a $2,000 mastermind at this kid's house. They taught me credit there. And that is what gave me the seed that eventually sprouted into my first business. So like really just going all in and just taking massive risks, no matter what the consequence was. Like I just needed to have that environment around me. So I just did that. Yeah.
You have a big social media following. What are maybe 3 things someone can do, or 3 tips to growing a big social media following?
Yeah, so it's really awesome how good the algorithms are, because if your content's not getting a lot of views, then your content sucks. Like it tells you right away, like if you're doing it right or not. So if you're getting a couple hundred views on all your reel, you need a new strategy. Like your shit just doesn't work. And so like today I was looking at my TikTok. I'm like, man, I'm really slacking. Like I was hitting 50, 60, 70K on all my videos. Then all of a sudden I started getting like 1,000, 2,000. And I was like, what am I doing? And today I really forced me to sit down, look at what was trending, look at what's working for some other people, got a little idea going. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. Boom. First video back. Like it's hitting now, because I actually took the time to think it out and really dive deep into my creative process. So for me, it's just like whenever people ask this, and I coach hundreds of people on a weekly basis on their personal brands, most people just don't do the work. Like when I hit a reel that gets 600K or 1 million, I literally spent 4 or 5 hours on that 1 minute reel. Like from sitting down, thinking of the idea, really meditating on it, seeing how I want it to be portrayed online, getting a really good hook, right? If you don't hook someone in the first 1 to 2 seconds, they're gone. So you can speak slowly and normally how me and you were talking now, but that hook needs to be on fire right away. And then you can continue a normal conversation. So I think hook is super important. The value, you can't really confuse people. You have to be very relatable, right? People love to send shit to their friends, and that's how things go viral. So if you're getting a lot of shares on your video, that's going to kick the algo, and you're going to most likely be put on the explore feed. And then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy from there of just going viral with more people sharing. So I would say don't try to confuse people with like very good, big vocabulary with like massive words. Like if you make people feel dumb and they don't understand what you're saying, they're not going to repost it. So keep it simple, right? Keep it simple and relatable. And then finally, call to action. Tell people to follow you for more content. If you're not telling people what to do at the end, what was the video for, right? So at the end of all my videos, I'll say, hey, if you like this video, follow me for more. That's it. Because I know if they follow me, they're done. Like I got them. I'll just convert them with my stories over the next 3 months.
Yeah, I think one of the key things you said is you got to prepare, you got to plan. And I think something that I do sometimes is I've obviously big team, ran a lot of ads. And so sometimes content's like, yeah, just kind of throw it up. And
yeah,
I agree with you when there's no thought put into it and it doesn't perform. It's not really that. Yeah, it's not that surprising, right? Yeah. It's not that surprising. So I think for most people, if you really want to get good at organic content and build a brand, you also have to treat it like a business, and you have to take it that seriously.
100%. It's just like NBA players. There's only so few in the NBA, the NFL. It's the same thing with organic content creators that are getting 1 million views on every video. They've literally cracked the code. They've spent hours, hundreds of hours of their time figuring out how to go viral. It's the pros. You got to be a pro.
What are some of the non-negotiables you have that you feel have made you successful?
I would say my morning routine is a massive on my routine. And it's just because it like sets me in motion for the day. So if I just wake up and roll out of bed, I don't make my bed, I just go on TikTok, I start scrolling, start getting anxiety, start second guessing myself, like it just sets me up to fail. So my mornings always look the same no matter where I'm at in the world every single day. I wake up, I pray, I read the Bible, I journal, and then I write down my power list of what I'm going to do for the day to get closer to my goal. Then I go to the gym. That's non-negotiable. And my day starts after I get home from the gym. So like if you're trying to call me, hit me up, my DMs are flooded, I'm not doing anything until I have my coffee. I'm sitting at my desk at 8:30, 9 o'clock back from the gym.
Love it.
Because then I got all my, I focus on me. Like the first hour and a half, 2 hours of the day should be focused on yourself, not the outside world. That's how you're going to grow.
Yeah, kind of pour like into yourself before you start pouring into others.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a lot of options in Miami. You said you got engaged a year ago, right? About a year ago. Yeah. So pretty young. I think you're in your 20s. Yeah. 28. So let's say 26. We'll say 26. You got engaged. A lot of options in Miami in terms of women. What made you decide to settle down, I would say relatively young, in a very big city where that's not normal?
I never got to Miami before her. Like I had her coming to Miami.
There you go.
It was God's plan for me to meet her. It was totally like a fall in love in the first moment, like magical kind of thing. It was the first day I had got to Bali. I left all my shit in Scottsdale. Like I literally made it. I made a successful business. I hit all my goals of paying off my debt. And 2020 just started. It was January 2020. I booked a one-way flight to Bali. I had never been to Southeast Asia. I had been depressed for the past year, and I just worked my ass off. And I was like, holy shit, like this is actually happening. The first day I get there, I meet my girlfriend, and it's her last day there. And she's from Spain. We ran into each other at a coffee shop. She was backpacking with her mom, or I'm sorry, at a pizza shop. She was backpacking with her mom. It was their last meal before they left. And I ran into her my first day there. And then I got her Instagram and she dipped, went back to Spain. And for 6 months, I just like watched her stories and kept telling my friends, I'm like, bro, that is like my wife. Like, I know it. Like, and they're like, bro, what are you talking about? You literally said like one word to her and you bought her one drink and you never talked to her again. I'm like, nah, bro, like that's the one. That's the one. And I just knew in my heart. And then 6 months later, we were in Tulum in July. I was launching a business credit class with a couple friends. We rented this big villa. It was peak COVID. Shutdowns were everywhere. The only place you could travel was Mexico or Dubai. And so we got this big villa and everyone was flying girls in and stuff. And I had an opportunity to ask her if she wanted to come. And I basically had to convince her mom on a FaceTime to let her come down to Tulum. And her mom remembers me. I was drunk in Bali. It was my first night there. I was like having the time of my life. And she was like, that crazy drunk guy, like you want me to let you go with him? And I was like, get your mom on a FaceTime. Like, I'll sell her. And I basically like gave her my course and everything. And she like took my course and she was like, all right, I trust you. Here's the passport. So she flew down to Tulum and I picked her up. And literally within 24 hours, I was like, yeah, we're dating. Like, this is it. And I flew her friend home the next week and she stayed with me, canceled her flight.
Bro, that is that's like some shit out of a movie.
Yeah, I wrote a book about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. I think a lot of guys struggle maybe finding the right girl or maybe knowing if it's the right girl to settle down. What were things about her that made you so sure?
I think it was honestly more about finding myself. And then I was comfortable with a girl. Like I had always been in either abusive relationships or one night stands or quick flings and toxic girls. It's because all of that is just a reflection of what's going on inside. Your relationships are literally a mirror of how you treat yourself. So for the first time in my life, I was proud of myself. I had a business. I had just completed my goals. I started to trust myself. So when I saw her, I could tell this girl held a very high, value to herself. Like she respects herself a lot. She keeps herself looking great. Like I just could tell immediately within the first second, like this girl is like natural. She's beautiful. She doesn't fuck around probably and I knew it. And that's literally how she is. And she was just a perfect match for me. So I don't know. For me, I feel like God literally placed her there for me once I conquered myself. And so whenever people ask me, yo, Colin, like I want a girl. How'd you find your girl? You guys are so perfect. I'm like, bro, all I did was focus on myself. I did not want a girl. I didn't think I was ready for a girl. All I was doing was focusing on me and God brought her to me. So that's my answer. I don't know any other way. And there's no way I should be able to tell you how to go out and do it because that's the way I did it. So maybe it'll happen for you that way.
No, I think it's a good message. I the more I've gotten into mindset and stuff, it took me years, man. I mean, I was really resistant to it, but that's one of the key things I've learned is any issues you have or things you see in other people that bother you are usually issues in yourself.
100%.
And I really do believe like people are a mirror to see inside you. Like that's the whole reason they're there, so you can see deficiencies in yourself. Who are some of the mentors you've had, and if you haven't had mentors, books, like anything along the way that you're like, man, that guy really helps me, or man, I'm really glad I read this book? Yeah,
I think I've had multiple mentors in different areas. One of my mentors, Mark Moss, he's a good friend of mine now. I don't know if you know him. He's a YouTuber. I think he's like 50 now, maybe 48. He is a whiz when it comes to financial literacy, investing, monetary policy, macro. So I'm very deep into like economics and how the world works. Like I'm fascinated by that stuff. So I literally paid him 50 grand to be in his like high ticket, like mastermind inner circle. And he taught me a lot about, money. And so that for me, like I can make less money and be more happy and have more freedom with the way I run my businesses organically, because I'm the most slim team you've ever seen. It's like me and like one partner for each business. And so like I'm very stress free. I do what I want when I want. but I'm able to multiply my net worth a lot better than a lot of the people I meet. Like,
yeah, it's been interesting being the last few guys I met. You, Wade, there's some other guys, but it's so interesting. That was a novel concept for me. Like, I'm meeting guys who are like, yeah, I got one person on my team, or it's like, I am the team.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
you're the team. Like
Yeah.
that. It's new for me to see. I haven't seen it done very often.
Yeah. I mean, I have a pretty good net worth, and I've been able to do everything myself with one other person maximum in each business. And I've done that for 5 years now. And it's really about, you don't need to make 10 million a year. You can make $100,000 a month, live below your means, and invest that money in the correct vehicles and follow the way the money cycles work in business cycles. And you can multiply your wealth. Like, for example, in crypto, this bull market, I'll probably do a 5X minimum on my wealth, and I'll be at 8-figure net worth liquid.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it's, for me, I think the importance of financial literacy and understanding the opportunities at hand are extremely important, because they only come around every 4 years or so. So you really have to be prepared, and you have to have liquidity. And I think it's much easier. Like, I'll make more money than, a lot of people this year, just because of where all my money is placed. And most business owners, they're putting all their money back into team and expenses and ads and all this stuff. It's like, that's just not the way I want to do my life. Like, I'd rather be way more liquid. I'd rather have all my money in something that I can liquidate today and it's in my bank account. Yeah. And so for me, like, crypto is just kind of like my home. That's where I dedicate a lot of my time to. And I'm able to just make, I don't make more than 1-2 million a year on average through my businesses, but I'm able to, live the exact life I want. And then over time, I'm able to turn that 1 to 2 mil invested into multiple 8 figures.
Yeah, it's also, I think that's a good point. Something, I was doing at my peak close to 2 mil a month, and it was I was making a lot of money, but it's 30% margin. So 30% margin means, let's say you're taking home 400 or 500 racks. Yep. But it is a lot of fucking bullshit. Yeah. So I do think, to your point and your credit, something for the listeners is, if you're making $100,000 and then you have to take home $300,000, you have to do an extra $900,000 in revenue. That may not be worth it, right? Yeah. So it really does, at the end of the day, depend on the profit.
100%.
And there definitely are advantages to having a smaller team. So for anyone listening, I think that was a key point.
Yeah, I mean, every dollar that comes in my business account is mine to keep. Like, I don't have any expenses.
What are some of the key skills or knowledge that you think are the most important for people to master to be successful?
I really think your personal brand is everything. And it's not just because I sell it. Like, it's truly because everything I have in my life right now that you see me with is through my personal brand. I met my girl only because of my personal brand. The only way she flew out to me is because she could investigate all my content, my course, everything, and that sold her mom to let her come and see me, right? All my businesses have stemmed through my personal brand. Every friend I have today has been met through online first. So, like, for me, man, I like, Instagram literally changed my life. So
yeah, I've been thinking this throughout the podcast. You remind me look-wise of Steve Cook. Has anyone ever said that?
Yeah, I've gotten that a lot.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I was thinking, where the hell have I seen this guy before?
Is this Steve Cook?
yeah. Like, you look very, very similar to Steve Cook. Steve Cook's a good-looking dude, so that
He's
works
a legend.
out for you. What's a question I should have asked you that I haven't that would help people? Like, what's the thing that maybe I don't know about you, or something that you don't talk about a lot that if someone heard it would be beneficial for them?
Maybe hitting rock bottom. Like, how low did you go before you got this high? That has been, I mean, I've been through a lot in my life, and I think it was all God's plan, building me up into what I needed to be to, be an entrepreneur as well. But I've been assaulted. I've had my face pretty much broken in half in this random fight at this party. It wasn't even a fight. I just literally got assaulted from the back. A kid just came up behind me, started wailing me. Woke up in the hospital, whole face smashed in half. Like, zero control over it. Couldn't change anything. Like, it was just, that's my reality. So that really fucked me up. I also was kidnapped and drugged. I don't know if Wade talked about his story, but similar. Fuck. I was drugged at a club, like, taken somewhere. Don't know what happened. That was like the catalyst for me changing my life. Like, waking up that next day, having no money in my bank account. There was a police report out for me. I had no recollection of what happened over the past 12 hours. And I was like, all right, like, this is pathetic. Like, what is going on in my life? Like, I need to actually, take a stand and change this shit right now. And then finally going 50K in debt right when I entered entrepreneurship. I got scammed like right away. I put everything on credit cards and just pretty much hit a wall. Like there was no end in sight. And that ending and that rock bottom and all those failures stacked on top of each other just unlocked something in me and just drove me to do whatever it took to become successful. Like 14-hour days, never giving up, and just finding the answers from within. And, searching through that pain, that brought me my purpose. And like my first business came out of all of those failures, and I wouldn't be here today unless I failed. So like, I think it's just like, don't be afraid to fail. Like my failures are what made me successful. Just failing, learning, getting up, doing it again, and just doing that over and over and over again. Like I'm sure with you too, like I'm sure you've lost a lot of money trying to implement stuff, investing in teams, investing in investments. I've lost, in order to make millions of dollars, you got to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. I probably lost 400, 500 grand just on things that I thought were going to work and didn't work. So failure is, don't be afraid to fail. The faster your rate of failure, the faster you're going to become successful. I just failed way faster than most, and I wasn't afraid to fail, and that's why I'm successful.
Yeah, man. I really love hearing your story. You're still super young. You got a lot ahead of you. Kind of crazy to see what you've accomplished at the young age of 28. But for anyone who wants to get a hold of you, work with you, where can they find you?
Yeah, Colin Ferguson on Instagram and YouTube and all platforms. Colin Ferguson.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, bro.